Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first of three Coaches Corners presented by the Growth Coach of Greater Kansas City. Today we have Roberta and Cathy who will lead us through an interactive discussion focusing on the question, are you living the dream? Ladies, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Haley.
Thanks.
Well, first of all, I just want to welcome everyone. Thanks for tuning in and coming to this interactive workshop. And so for some of you, this will be a personal coaching session. And we hope you're watching this on YouTube as well, and hope you can take away some good golden nuggets. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Cathy Busch.
Okay. Can you switch slides?
Yep.
There we go. Okay. So the only person that's on here that isn't with the chamber is Cathy, but I'd still like everybody to go around and introduce yourself and the company that you work for and how long you've been in business. And actually, I'm going to start with Haley because she's the first one on my screen.
All right, perfect. My name is Haley Koenig, and I am the Programs and Events Coordinator here at the Chamber. I've been with the Chamber probably now for a little over almost probably 2 months, so it feels a lot longer, which is great. So yeah, still relatively new, but excited to be with us.
Great. And Cathy?
I am Cathy Casey with Casey's Auto Repair, and we have been in business for 14 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And Kelsey?
Hi, I'm Kelsey Webb. I'm with the Northeast Johnson County Chamber. I'm the Communications Coordinator, and I've been here for a little bit over a year.
Great. And Sony's got himself muted. I think he's handling the phones today. So we'll go on ahead and introduce ourselves then. I'm Cathy Busch, co-owner partner of the Growth Coach of Greater Kansas City. A lot of my background was in the telecommunications industry, installing phone systems, leading implementations, and you can kind of read that on the screen. But I also sold real estate for 8 years and did a lot of mentoring and coaching of new agents in real estate. And I'm passionate about coaching leaders and business owners to think outside the box as far as being strategic and developing them. And I do DISC assessments, and I'm very passionate about that too, understanding yourself and gaining insight and emotional intelligence and everything that goes with it, and just being aware of your employees and yourself and how you interact with people. So that's kind of my story, and I'll pass it to Roberta, and then she can tell you a little bit more about the Growth Coach as well.
Great. Thanks, Cathy. I'm Roberta O'Keefe, and I have done business planning and strategic marketing and sales development for well over 20 years here. And I've worked in major corporations, Fortune 500s, and I have really developed an expertise around training and development and process improvement. I also have focused on helping companies develop their customer experience strategies. So what that means is helping business owners keep and retain customers longer and build loyalty within your customer base. And so I'm really, really passionate about that, along with developing business owners to become more like a CEO and being able to run your business in a more efficient and effective way so that you can enjoy the life that you are creating with your small business. And that's kind of the topic of today. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. But both Cathy and I are certified business coaches through the Growth Coach. It is a franchise nationwide, and we are focused on developing just exceptional coaching and affordable coaching to our small businesses of the Kansas City area. And it was founded back in 2003, and they have over 7,500 clients worldwide and over 150 coaches worldwide. So we are around, and you might run into another one of us somewhere in another major city. So that's just a little bit about Growth Coach, and we'll just go ahead and get started on this program today. So the first thing I want to just touch on is, what the heck is Coach's Corner, right? So we are working with the Northeast Johnson County Chamber to develop a 3-part series. We're going to be meeting quarterly, and it's really more of a reflection time for small business owners to take a step back and get out of the weeds of your technical day-to-day and focus on you, focus on personal growth, maybe learn a new tool or a new tactic on how to approach a certain problem that you might be facing in your business. Also, we're looking to just help develop you as a leader, and hope these sessions will help you out with that. And then we do have a second session coming July 7th. So stay tuned for that next Coach's Corner. So just a quick quiz. And Cathy, since you're on the phone, and maybe even Haley and others, Stony too, if you're listening, I want to ask you just a few questions on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being awesome. And this quiz is really quick and easy. Your business functions practically without me on a scale of 1 to 5. And the second question, it runs predictably, consistently, and automatically, whether I'm here or not. The third question, my business is systems dependent, not owner dependent. And then lastly, I run my business. It doesn't run me. So I'm just curious, any thoughts on that? I don't want to put you on the spot, Cathy Casey, but if you had a chance, what do you think?
Well, the first one, I would say 5.
Okay.
The second one, I would say 5. The third one, I would say 1. And the fourth one, well, actually, I'd give it a 3. And the fourth one, I would say a 4.
Okay, good.
That's not bad.
Feedback. No, not bad at all.
Mechanic, that's why it can run without me. I just do the paperwork. Now, if this was my husband reading it, those would be totally different answers.
So that's true. When you think about, you have a partnership with your husband in this business, correct?
Yes.
Yep. So his answers might be a little different. The reason why we ask these questions is because when you think about your business in a more strategic mindset, these are the things that we focus on helping business owners move or improve from that 1 to 3 range to the 4 to 5 range. So a lot of small business owners that we come across don't know how to put in systems or processes to make their business run more efficiently, or they're depending so much on themselves to bring in the sales or to technically do the job within their company. And so when we talk about having a strategic business mindset, it's all about helping you as a business owner that may have scored very low on all of these questions to take a step back and start thinking about how can I help my business run more efficiently and effectively, consistently and automatic, so that I can take vacation time. So, and I'm sure, Casey, when you guys first started your business, you weren't able to take vacation time very often, probably.
No, never.
Yeah. How about now? How do you feel now?
Yes, we actually do take some time. And now that we have 2 locations, on Fridays, we just run the business out of one location, close the other one down so that it gives my husband and I time to go and do things.
Oh, good. That's great. You've gotten your business to the point where it's almost self-sufficient.
That took 13 years.
Yeah. We hope to help those business owners not take 13 years to do that. So, but there are business owners that have been in business 13 years and have still not been able to get their company to the point where they can step away. So that's great.
All of it is having good employees and ones you can trust to do it.
Absolutely. And you lead me into talking about there's 7 main areas that we think about when becoming more strategic in your thinking. And in those areas, stuff like, do you have a strategic marketing plan? How is that marketing plan executed? Do you have a strategic selling plan? How are you gathering leads, and what does that lead funnel look like? And how is that fed into an automatic process or system? We also have the third area is around performance management. How are you hiring the right people? How are you developing process and procedures around onboarding new employees and training them so that you can trust them and walk away on a Friday? Then another area is also around measurements. So do you have key measurements that you are continually looking at to ensure that your business is growing or running effectively? And then the other areas around business operations. Do you have policies, procedures, all in place so that when you do hire somebody, they can walk into a job and somewhat know it and understand it and have the processes in place so that they're not, taking 6-12 months to ramp up to be effective. And then lastly, we're on leadership development. Are you as a leader taking time out to develop and learn new skills, learn how to be a better manager, learn how to be a better time management person and manage your time? And so all of those things we bring into the strategic business mindset as a framework to help small business owners. And so I appreciate you answering those questions for us, Casey. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Cathy now.
Hello. Okay. So the next thing we want to talk about is basically a little bit of facing reality and where you are. And the first question would be, what are the top 3 reasons that you went into business to begin with? Think back. I know it was a while ago, but did you have certain hopes and dreams? Did you have a passion that you wanted to express through your business? And if you're not a business owner, for the other ladies that are on the call at Northeast, if you want to write down, why did you choose your current profession? What motivated you to do what you're doing today? So that's our first question. We want you to write down the answers to that, and just a few reasons. And the second question, are you where you wanted to be right now? And when you think about this question, am I where I thought I was going to be? Think about the business as a whole and not just dollars and cents. Are you making the amount of money that you wanted to make? But look at it a little bit more holistically. Are you working as much as you thought that you were going to? Do you have as many customers? Do you have as many employees as you imagined? Can you take time away from the business? And we just talked about that. You said for the first a lot of years, you couldn't. And as Roberta said, some people that have had their businesses for 13 or 14 years never do get those things in place where they can walk away. So are you where you want to be right now? And the third question, what are the top 3 challenges that you're facing right now as a business owner? Whether it could be marketing, cash flow, any challenges that you face right now, write those down. I'll give you a couple minutes. Or Cathy, you can just share with us whenever you're ready, when you've got something you want to talk about. We're going to keep picking on you because you're the only one on the call.
Okay, the top 3 reasons, actually, there's really just one main reason that we started a business, and that was it's my husband. He was the one. He had a vision of how he wanted his business to run. And no matter where he worked, they just wouldn't do it. And he didn't like the way some things were being done, so he just decided he was going to do it on his own. We looked for a couple years for a place, and then the place we're in on Beverly just kind of just fell right into our lap.
Mhm.
People that were renting, that were going to rent it, backed out the day they were to sign, and we were called and said, "Are you ready?" And we were literally up and running in 30 days.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Now, is he a mechanic by trade then?
yes,
Okay.
yes, it's
Gotcha.
all we've ever done.
Since we've got the time, can you elaborate a little bit more? Maybe, hopefully, you know, maybe you don't, I don't know. But what was it that he was so disappointed with the other people that he was working for that he wanted to change? You said he didn't like the way that things were run. Can you
Right.
elaborate?
Well, his philosophy is you don't have to, people work hard for their money. He always says this, people work hard for their money. You want them to keep their money. You don't want to try and sell them everything, you know, the first time they come in. If you take care of somebody's car, you're fair, you're reasonable, they will come back. And that's what makes you money, is people that will trust you and come back.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, some of the places he worked at, you had to upsell things. It was mandatory.
Mhm.
And he did not like that.
I've been to those places.
And, you know, some of them, it would be, they're on commission. So if they don't sell something on a car, they don't get paid. And
Yeah.
honestly, it can make an honest person dishonest because you've got a family at home, you've got to feed, and he didn't like that.
Right.
So that's why when he started his business, they're all on salary. And it is, you look everything over and you say, okay, well, it's by wintertime, you're going to need new tires, so start budgeting for it. That's what he likes to do, is to give people time to realize this is something you're going to have to deal with. Start budgeting so that it's not just boom out of the pocket right away.
Right.
So, and then are we where we want to be right now? I think so. Things are going well now. You know, 2020 was tough.
Mhm.
You know, we're on the upscale here, so we're getting back up. The top 3 challenges that we're facing right now is really one, and it has just been a nightmare. Social media. Google reviews, Yelp reviews. People can say whatever they want to say. The most recent one was a guy that calls, I don't know if you want me to get into all this stuff, but it's social media.
That's fine.
They just flat out lie.
Mm.
But he called and wanted his window fixed. We fixed it 3.5 years ago. And my husband didn't have time that day and said, can you bring it in on Wednesday? And he immediately just blew up over the phone, said he is going to rip us a new one on social media, was what he said, and then hung up. So we figured, well, he won't be back. He walks in on Thursday, a day later than what we asked him to come in. And my husband just was like, you know, you're obviously not happy with us. You were threatening me on the phone. And there was a lot of other things that were said. And he said, I just think it's probably best that you take your car somewhere else. And he said, I am going to have everybody I know write a review about you. And I'm going to have so much fun doing it. And he is. And we are getting one review after another of people we have no idea who they are.
Oh boy.
That is our biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And it's been all through the 14 years that we've been doing this.
How are you
Yeah.
responding to those, or are you responding to those?
Well, in the beginning, we were always told, don't respond, you'll start an argument, you don't want to do that. So we didn't. But now I'm finding over the years, people are saying, well, you should respond. But this second guy, when he came in, he got very threatening, and it got to the point where I did contact the police and made a report on him. Now I'm in the process of trying to find out what else I can do because of what he is doing to us legally. What can I do? But these are challenges I really don't like. I don't want to have to deal with. You know, I have people saying, well, social media is really wonderful and I trust it 100%, where I'm like, I trust nothing anymore because I've seen what they've done.
Yeah.
And people just get mad and they just blow up and without even thinking. I think if people would wait at least a day or two before they write a review, they may feel different.
Oh, sure.
Right.
You know, and again, it's no good deed unpunished. We've had a few of those, you know, where you try and help somebody else out, help them out. And for some reason, I don't know why, they just have fun writing reviews. I don't understand it. We've had a couple that say, well, if you don't discount my ticket, I guess I'm just going to have to write a bad review. I don't know why we tend to get a lot of these. I don't know if other people are getting them. I've heard the nightmares, but ours just seem to be a big challenge for us.
Yeah, social media can be a double-edged sword because, like you said, anybody can get on there and write anything, and it can be an amazing thing. So I'm sorry that you guys are experiencing that. That's a tough one. Roberta, if you've got slide 7.
Yeah. And I just want to add to that, Cathy, maybe you and I can talk later about this, about your social media challenges, because I've had to work with companies on those things. So let's have a call about that.
Okay.
Awesome.
So do you have, can you unhide slide 7?
Sure. Hold on one second.
Since we've just got Cathy on the phone and the only challenge that she has is social media, there are some other challenges though that other businesses may face, and until you kind of read this list, you may not realize what they are, but this is kind of part of that reality check. And excuse me, kind of putting this up here for the benefit of those that are going to be watching this workshop a little bit later on. But if you kind of read through the list, need more personal time, prisoner to my business, never getting anything done. People are just very busy being busy. Feel like I'm working too much, not earning enough. I'm out of control. Urgent versus important. This is an interesting topic, and it's a whole another thing in time management. But I reactively tackle urgent matters, which means urgency is something that it's a problem that's somebody else's and not yours. Important matters are things that are important to you and that'll help grow the business. So you're reacting to urgent things where other people are kind of dictating what your time is, how your time is being spent, as opposed to working on important things that are important for you in the business. We use this phrase a lot. I'm caught working in my business instead of on my business, juggling a whole lot, being frustrated, chained to my desk. I'm the chief go-to solver in my business. Have the business owner blues. Things aren't the way I thought they were going to be, and now I'm kind of bummed out about it. Stuck doing everything myself. Clutter, complexity, and confusion has taken over my life. So when we do our workshops and work with clients, they go down this list and they'll start nodding their heads going, yep. So these are a lot of the issues that other folks kind of come in contact with. And I just wanted Roberta to put that up again, since Kath, you don't have that much going on. That's terrible. You're except for the social media. So.
And the urgent versus important, that, for Cathy, you should probably think about, are you just putting out fires with that Google, reviews, or are you focusing on the more important things?
This is true. Yep. Those are urgent matters. Somebody else is creating the urgency for you, as opposed to working on the business. And like we were saying, with sales and marketing, concentrating on those things that help drive money to the business. You can go ahead to the other one now.
Okay. Yeah. So, the point of today too is to stop and think about where your current state is. Is your business where you wanted it to be? And then we want you to kind of think about now, what do you think your future state should look like? is there those challenges that you have today, are there things that you can do that could possibly improve the way you approach those challenges? So um, for me, I actually had gone back to the current state. Let me just go back here. And for me, as a business owner of the Growth Coach, I had talked about the three things why I went into business. It was for the passion of helping others. I wanted to share gifts and talents that I have and help encourage other people. And I didn't want to see another small business die. And so one of the challenges, though, that I did write down was around procrastination. You know, as business owners, a lot of times we might be paralyzed by some procrastination, and that could be out of fear, or maybe I don't know where to put my money, to invest my money into marketing or a consultant or whatever. So I procrastinate and I wait, and then it's 2 years later and I'm still in the same spot where I was before. And so when I think about the future state, I took one of those challenges. So if you can, pick one of those challenges that you came up with and take a moment to just brainstorm some of those things that you think you could do to address those challenges in the next 90 days. And so for those of you on the live call, I challenge you to think about what could you do differently in approaching that top challenge that you have in the next 90 days. And then think about what kind of impact do you think it would have on your business if you were able to address that challenge or overcome that challenge in the next 90 days. And then lastly, think about what obstacles do you think you might come in face with when you're trying to achieve that goal in the next 90 days of overcoming that challenge. So I'll just give it a minute and go ahead and write these down and pick up one of the challenges that you have.
And I'm not purposely trying to neglect Haley and Kelsey. If you guys want to add anything, if you want to contribute anything, please unmute and chime in there anytime.
I feel like we're also kind of working on social media, but for a different reason than what Cathy was talking about. But we are trying to grow our social media and just finding better ways to reach people, because things are changing so often with having in-person events or virtual events, that it just is hard to reach people on social media sometimes.
So what do you think what kinds of things do you think you can do differently to reach those people or get different ideas on how to reach those people?
I think we're starting to kind of try a few different things of like having like our videos with it and photos rather than just having text. I think that there's been some improvement with that whenever we share YouTube videos like this recording that we'll be sharing. And then we have like a QR code that we have up at We're Talking Tuesday for people to follow us on Facebook. And then just talking about it in the newsletter also, because that reaches a different group of people.
Yep. Yep.
So are you having trouble reaching new people, or would you say it's the people in the chamber? Just curious.
Both. Kind of our main goal is to reach people of the chamber, just so that our members always know about the events that we have going on and can take advantage of those. But then kind of the secondary category would be new people.
Okay. So like Roberta said, I would think about what you guys can do over the next 90 days that could help change that. I'm sure you've already been thinking about it. But Cathy, do you want to talk about anything that you've written down that you can do over the next 90 days and what kind of an impact it would have?
Well, and something I've been thinking about since all this last one started was, I would, and it really has nothing to do with my business, I would love to start educating people more on reviews, not on social media, just reviews. You know, because I don't also think that people realize small businesses, we're all just trying to run a business. We're just doing our best. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have a bad day once in a while. But we've all got employees that we are supporting their families. So
Yeah.
they may come on and blast us, but you know, they're also affecting our employees.
Mhm.
You know, just like restaurants. Well, waitresses and waiters are there, they're working hard, and because they may have had one bad experience, they're blasting that restaurant. And it's, you know, I just don't think people really think about that kind of stuff when they're writing their reviews.
Right.
Not
So
thinking
what-
about the repercussions. Yeah, I know.
So
Exactly.
what do you think you could do in order to overcome that?
Oh, I've thought about contacting Shawnee Mission Post, or, um, you know, renting space in a magazine and doing a article in there about it. I've thought about going on to my reviews and writing my own review about it. You know, I believe me, I've been thinking about this a lot, because I just think that people react too quickly,
Sure.
Mhm.
and others should kind of read between lines when they're reading reviews and see, oh, well, that person just obviously had a bone to pick, you know.
Right.
And people need to learn to start going to business owners and talking to them and saying, hey, this is what happened, you know, because
Yep.
I guarantee you, if they would, probably 90% of them wouldn't be writing those reviews.
I think one
So,
too, sorry.
sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But you know, when I'm looking at reviews, you know, whether it's through Google or Yelp or whatever it may be, and you start to see those negative reviews, you know, what stands out to me is if the owners of the businesses are actually responding to those bad reviews and just letting it known, like, hey, we're sorry you had this bad experience, but what can we do to fix it? Here's my direct email address or something like that. So for me, I don't know, when I see the owner really stepping in and kind of taking charge of that bad review, I feel like it almost just, you know, takes away that bad review when I'm reading it. So it's a thought just to really be on top of it and responsive is super important.
I agree. You don't want to be argumentative or combative, that's for sure. I mean, it's hard though if you get a review from somebody that you don't even know, and you could mention that in the review. I'm sorry, I don't remember, recall you being a client, but would love it if you would stop in so we could talk and get it ironed out, kind of a thing. But yeah, you don't ever want to argue, that's for sure. De-escalate.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough road to hoe, trying to teach everybody to be kind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good
So
luck with that
Cathy,
one.
when you think about creative ways to overcome that challenge, which you already have kind of thought through, how do you educate people on what Google reviews can do to a small business? You mentioned going to maybe other business owners and talking to them, and maybe even asking them, what do you guys do? What are your best practices around handling social media posts like that? And then your other idea around going to the media and just having a creative article about you and what you guys do, and or maybe it's a collaborative article with another marketing agency or expert that can bring that to light as well, just a part of that education. And so my question would be then to look at what kind of impact do you think it would have on your business if you were to overcome some of these challenges? Do you think it would make a major impact or low impact?
I don't know if it would or not.
Mhm.
I will say that we are very fortunate because we do have a huge following. You know, we've got a lot of loyal, wonderful customers.
Mhm.
And word of mouth helps a lot. So I don't think that the reviews are so much Yeah, I don't think they're affecting our business, but I don't know. Maybe we'd have a lot more business if they weren't there. I don't know. I'm,
Okay.
I'm fortunate that we do have business, and we have a lot of repeat business. We have a lot of big accounts
Mhm.
that we take care of. So, I know that we do a wonderful job. I know that we're honest. We will stand behind our work. I
Mhm.
know my husband will do anything to keep his customers happy. He goes above and beyond with his
Mhm.
regular customers that come in. Um, so I just don't like when people think that they can just be so mean to people. I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, nobody does.
Unfortunately, we're all humans, right? And
We are.
we are all fallen beings. Well, one thing to think about, and the reason why I ask you what kind of impact would that have on your business is because I really want you to think about prioritizing. So, as a strategic business owner and thinking more strategically about your business, this will help you gauge, is this something I need to prioritize or deprioritize my time? And is it taking away from those things that really matter? And maybe the thing that really does matter is getting your reputation out there, communicating out through various media outlets to just continue to build your brand and your reputation, rather than dealing with one or two bad reviews. And I know there's multiple, I understand that. Or in another strategic thought is, okay, what is our social media strategy? How are we going to respond to these going forward? How do we automate those responses? How can we take this, take this issue and make it a priority to implement better processes, and so that you're not spending your days manually responding to these things or the mental emotional drain it can take on it. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I I have heard that, and it does take on me personally,
Mm-hmm.
because I know they're not telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's your baby. Yeah, your business is your
I'm
baby,
like,
and
no, my claws are out. Why are you doing this?
exactly. So that's where, I think this exercise might help you to stop and
Yeah.
think versus reacting to how can we be more proactive and make this something that we can address in a more efficient manner, and or how can we overcome this by, hey, maybe we do need to go out and just do some press, go out and talk and see if we can get some articles written about us and whatever. We can brainstorm ideas around that.
Well, and one thing I wanted to mention too, and part of what we talk about in strategic business mindset, there are a lot of things that we can't control that are completely out of our control. COVID was out of our control,
Yes.
and you can't control what people are going to do hiding behind their computers and writing those mean reviews. You can't control that. But what you can control are your thoughts, your attitude, and your action. And I think, don't do this literally, but killing them with kindness, you can control that. You can control getting your message out there. Like you just said, we stand behind our work. We are proud of what we do. We have integrity, and getting that message out there will hopefully negate, all the urgent stuff, which is the stuff that's coming up that's from someone else, and that's those bad reviews. But you can control those things. You can't control other people. You can't control the economy, but focusing on the things that you can control, I think, is the way that you're going to need to go with it. So going forward, when we talk about goals and the things that you can control and the things that you want to address, we talk about SMART goals. And SMART goals, excuse me, I'm getting ready to cough again. SMART goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they're timely. And I'll go through and talk about each of those individually, but as you're coming up with the things that you want to do in the 90 days, if you're going to set a goal, it needs to be something very specific, not general. Like, I want to grow my business. It's like, okay, well, how much do you want to grow your business by? Does that mean you want more customers? Does that mean you want more revenue? Does that mean you want more products? So you need to be specific. It also needs to be something that you can measure. So you need to be able to measure revenue, or again, if you're adding more product, something that you can see a measurable difference so that you know that you've gone from point A to point B. Something attainable, saying that you want to increase your business by 1,000%, that's probably not going to be attainable in 90 days. Maybe bringing that back down to where it's an attainable 90-day goal. Realistic, saying that you want to become a Fortune 500 company in 90 days, that's probably not realistic, but you can change the things that you're doing to become better, but again, keep it just realistic. And then timely. If it's going to take you a year or 2 years, that's not going to fit within the 90-day plan. So again, just thinking about these 5 different things when you're coming up with your goals that you're going to address your challenges with is the best way to think about it. Have a clear message, and going forward. Roberta, I'm going to start coughing again.
Yeah, no, that's okay. One thing I would add, the exercise here is to think about that one major challenge that we just talked about, that you identified, and let's set a goal for the next 90 days. What are you going to do to address that major challenge? And when you write that goal out, we like to use this format of SMART, because then you can really see the impact of what you've done, and keeping that goal in front of you, whether it's taped to your computer, or taped to your, bulletin board, or you have it on your phone as a reminder each week. Keeping goals in front of you will help keep you focused and help keep you going. And so when you think about this, any feedback on how you guys can write a goal to address some of the challenges you're facing that you identified?
I think maybe, having somebody else help you with it, whether it's your business partner or your boss or coworker. So that way you can also, basically hold each other accountable to that goal and check in on each other, and kind of, just have that support from a peer, I think would really help me, at least. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Accountability is key in keeping goals. Cathy, what do you think you could do in the next 90 days when it comes to this challenge you were talking about? That's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
Well, you said talk with you, so that'll be
okay. Talk with me tomorrow or today. That's measurable.
Yes. And I love Haley's response to goals, because that is so true. If I just write it down, I can read it every single day. But if I have somebody that's helping me, that's good. So yeah, I just, and Cathy, it was well said. You can't control people. And I guess I just need to, because I know who we are. I know what we do. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of people who know that. And I shouldn't let just that 1 or 2 get to me.
I understand why you do, though. Like you said, it's your baby and you take it personally, and I get that. But I'm reading a lot about emotions and how to control them, and you're going to have an emotional reaction when something like that happens. But you've got the choice to change your attitude about it and your thoughts about it. It's like, okay, there it is, but let's focus over here on what I can control. And that's going to change your whole being, your whole thought process, your whole, your attitude, and will help you to focus on the positive instead of bringing yourself down and thinking about the negative because of that one person that you can't control. So I think it'll help you personally as well to focus on the positive instead of, the negative. And there's sometimes there are things you need to take care of, and I'm not saying completely ignore it, but to focus on, again, on the things that you can control, I think is going to be the positive way to go with it.
True.
Yeah. So I know we're actually coming up on time here. I just wanted to take a minute and think about, what takeaway do you think you had from just the last conversation, this last 45 minutes? Any tips or actions that you could start using today?
Focus on positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think too, the idea of looking at what's your current state and where do you want to be in the next 90 days is a great exercise for everyone to go through at some point, because then you start thinking in the future. You're starting to think strategic about your business by thinking about the future and then breaking it down into steps in order to attain that future state. One thing I like to do is a quarterly review of myself and take an hour or two, maybe longer, and go through what did I accomplish this quarter? Did I meet the goals that I wanted to meet? Did I attain that future state? Okay. And then I take time to plan out what does my next 90 days look like and what goals and objectives do I want to attain in the next 90 days? And each time you do that, you incrementally start getting to that bigger, hey, I want to be $1 million company or whatever your bigger vision is of your business. But also at the end of the day, you hit on it, Haley, with accountability. That is key. Having someone that you can be held accountable to those goals and objectives is critical. I can tape up a phrase or a scripture or something on my bathroom mirror and look at it every day. But if you ask me what it says, I couldn't tell you exactly what it says because nobody's held me accountable to learn that scripture or phrase word for word. Now, if my husband said every day, what does that say? I'd be like, okay, without looking, what does that say? So there's accountability does do something for us. It keeps us motivated, right? And I want you to also stop and think about celebrating the baby steps. Sometimes we think that after, the first month or 60 days into maybe some goals that you had set for yourself and you see that you're not there yet, celebrate what you have accomplished because the baby steps will get you there. And, success doesn't happen overnight, or overcoming a negative Google review doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take a little bit of work to overcome that score. And we can talk more about that, Cathy. I can talk to you about some strategies on that. But having an accountability partner at the end of the day, or a coach, and that's what coaching does. We hold our clients accountable to the things that they want to achieve. So I wouldn't be a great coach if I didn't at least share that opportunity with you as to what we do. Any last thoughts or questions on that?
Chamber ladies too?
I would like to thank you both for doing this today. It helps, to see things like this and get you thinking.
Yeah, good. Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. So I just want to share with you a couple of upcoming events. We've got 3 different webinars coming up. If you're interested, they're out on Eventbrite. We've got one on handling change in this crazy world. It's going to be a lunch and learn webinar talking about how to overcome some of the fears and the things that we face when a change is upon us, or and some tips on how to continue to move from point A to point Z when it comes to your business. And then we've got DISC personality profiles. Cathy is going to be learning more about what the DISC is and how that behavior assessment can help you in your selling style, help you manage people better, how to manage teams better. And then lastly, we actually have a workshop that's a 2-hour workshop coming up that is completely free, where we're going to be sitting down with business owners, and it's going to be very similar to this collaborative environment. And we're going to be talking through some of the strategic strategies that we talked about earlier, those 7 different things that we coach on. And at the end of that 2-hour session, you'll walk away with an action plan for your next 90 days and how to improve your business.
Love to see everybody there.
Thank you.
With that concludes today's first in a 3 series of Coach's Corner. We hope to coach more businesses going forward and help you move from point A to Z. And if you want to get a hold of us, that's our direct phone number and or both of our email addresses.